Seventh meeting of the Lakeville Conservation Commission. We are being recorded by LakeCAM. I'd like to ask if anyone else in the audience is recording. Seeing no one, we will bring the meeting to order and we will start by introducing ourselves.
I'm Mark Mitton, I'm the agent.
John LeBlanc,
Nancy Yates.
Joseph Chamberlain,
William Alfanos.
Matthew Ferraro.
Okay. So first on the agenda is 225 to 227 County Street, and here we go.
Good evening, Jamie DeSmith, Zenith Consulting Engineers. I was in front of you, I believe about 2 weeks ago. We continued this project, which is a proposed ADU with some tree removal, grading, because we didn't have a natural heritage letter, nor did we have a DEP file number. We've received both of those.
Can you
Natural,
just turn that slightly this way? We have a new member,
absolutely.
Matthew, tonight.
Is that okay?
That's
He's
fine, thank
joining
you.
us. I might add that he hasn't quite been appointed by the Board of Selectmen, but he is here and he's free to pitch in and he can do everything but vote. So
Sounds
just
good.
want to get him caught up.
Okay.
And Bill's relatively new too, so
Sounds
just want to make sure they can see.
Okay.
Thank you.
And so we continued from the last meeting for the file number and the natural heritage letter. We got both. I don't think there were any outstanding questions or concerns, but if there are, I'm happy to answer them.
No, natural heritage looks
good.
will not adversely affect the actual resource area habitat of state protected rare wildlife species. Very good. And the file number 192-939, correct?
I believe so.
So you want to just go over it quickly one more time? This is our very first ADU that we're looking at,
Yeah, sure. No,
which
no.
is accessory dwelling unit for anyone that doesn't know.
So the owner of the property is going to relocate his existing garage building that's here, which would be westerly because the plan's rotated, and construct a one-bedroom ADU with garage in roughly that area. There's going to require some tree clearing, grading, landscaping, construction of a driveway, and tying into existing utilities are going to be needed for this project. Also along with the project is the removal of a couple of trees down near the water that Mr. Minton has walked with the contractor on the site. And that's about it.
All right, so, this was read into record and we looked at it last time. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
The only question I have is the stone path that's existent, that's there, going into the back area.
Yes, it goes all the way down to the water. Yep.
It's existing.
It is existing.
So I would think that we need to add a condition on our, regular conditions of not pulling those stumps.
Which one's down at the water?
Yeah, do not pull those stumps.
I didn't see the trees. I can only imagine.
That's what, me and the contractor kind of discussed that, I suggested that, so,
Okay,
yeah, I don't think there was plans to.
sounds good to
Just
me.
make sure.
Yep.
So I would look for a motion to close the hearing and issue our standard order of conditions with an additional condition of the stumps will not be pulled on the trees that they're taking down.
So moved.
Anybody else? All in favor?
Do we second?
I second.
Oh, sorry.
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Did you get a prize for being the first? Like,
I
there'll
don't
be
think
quite a
so.
few more.
Oh, you mean for the ADU?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, interesting. Because we get a
Not
lot
the
of,
first?
No, I
People, you
don't think we get a
prize.
prize.
we get a lot of houses on 170, on 70,000 square foot lots.
This is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a nice piece of property.
Oh, it's a beautiful piece.
Okay, 74 Lakeside Avenue is a notice of intent, and it looks like,
We're gonna request a continuance.
Okay.
I talked with the clients, even today, and I believe that we have their changes wrapped up. We have to send in updated plans to this office and also to Natural Heritage. I'm gonna work on that this week, so I might need, if we can, let's get a 2-week or continuance to the next meeting.
Which
And
is
if,
6:10.
6:10.
and that way, if there's any concerns with the commission, I can address them before we get the decision back from Natural Heritage.
okay. All right, so I'll look for a motion to continue 74 Lakeside Avenue, SE 192, 931 to June 10th, 2025.
At 6:30.
At 6:30
police
at the Lakeville Police Station.
So moved.
Second.
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's all you, Jamie.
First three.
3 Mona Street.
Jamie from Zenith Consulting Engineers, 3 Mona Street. We submitted updated plans to the commission today with a cover letter. I know it doesn't meet the time constraints, nor would I ask for you to vote because we have to get comments back from Natural Heritage. We did send the plans into Natural Heritage and DEP as well as required. The major change on the plan, which isn't that major, is we have proposing a new staircase, between retaining wall 2 and 3. That is going to officially, or it's gonna end the traveling down on the adjacent property. So it's gonna solve an issue that's been present for a while here. The stairs are proposed to be wood with concrete footings. We did look at concrete steps. We looked at wooden steps. Wooden are by far the least invasive. They're the most environmental and economical choice for the site. So that's what the applicant decided to go with. They're going to fix or improve their existing landscape steps, which we have listed as our tie steps. There's some timbers that are in place that hold dirt and give them a nice walking path, which will bring them over to the steps where the real vertical change happens. The steps then bring them down to an area which they can then get down to the concrete at the water. So again, we have this plan sent in. I know you haven't had time to review it, so we're not asking for a vote tonight, but just wanted to give you a quick update on the change on that plan.
Is this a change to the proposed ladder to allow passage from?
That was on the original
It was, okay.
application. We may actually be taking that off. I have to go out to the site and see if we can get from the retaining wall at the front across and meet what Chapter 91 guidelines would have us meet. Otherwise, if we can't, then we would keep the ladder in place.
Okay.
All right, so we have new plans. I just need to intercede that with our new members. If something is continued, to remember to hold on to it and not, so that Lori's not gonna do it every time.
Right, I'm blaming
Right,
him.
okay, cause I think Matthew was missing 74, but that's continued, so we'll make sure you have all the paperwork before the next meeting, okay? So I'm looking for a motion to continue 3 Mona Street, SE 192, 933 to June 10th, 2025, 6:30 PM at the Lakeville Police Station.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Does that give you enough time to get a response?
If it doesn't, I'll request a
Okay.
continuance, but thank you.
Yep.
All right, I think that's it for me, right?
I think so.
Great. All right, have a good night, everybody.
Thank
Good,
you.
Jamie.
See you Thursday.
Hope so.
I'll try.
Appreciate it.
Yep. All right, next on the agenda, 28 Precinct Street.
I guess it comes up on the easels, huh? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Lakeville Conservation Commission. My name is Spencer Linz. I represent Park Corporation, which represents the town of Lakeville. This is the proposed Lakeville Fire Station right here across from the police station. It's on Bedford Street. 28 Precinct Street is technically the legal lot for the Ted Williams Camp property address. So that's what's on the application, but it's basically right here abutting Bedford Street. So what we're proposing is a new fire station in what is existing forest adjacent to Bedford Street. It's generally just a flatter piece of the property towards Bedford Street, and towards the north we're just grading down towards a wetland system. We also have an intermittent stream that crosses the DOT right-of-way here, just north of the Ted Williams Camp access. These resources here have been approved in a previous ORAD that was issued to us back in October. So these natural resources have been vetted by this commission before, back in October of last year. So moving right along, the proposed conditions, I guess I'll go into the demo and erosion control. Some pretty classic stuff. It's just it's zoning and drilling, the proposed clearing limits, and then we have various soil stockpile areas, refueling areas, concrete washout areas, these sort of types of things that you'd like to show on the plans outside of the buffer zones. So we're doing that. We also have a construction entrance here, more towards the actual access to the site where construction workers will be entering. This is also outside of the buffer zone. Nothing too complicated on this plan, as it is all basically just existing forest. The proposed conditions.
Hey, before you move on, please, Can you go back?
Yes, ma'am.
Concrete washout area
Correct.
for?
Any sort of concrete work that happens on site, have a safe place where we control any sort of concrete washouts, so those sediments and spoils don't leave the site, and they can be controlled so they can be contained and taken off site.
All right, so you're not going to be like washing out the cement trucks there?
No, it's more just a containment area so they can be removed rather than just haphazardly having concrete spoils elsewhere on site. So we just identify something like that away from the buffer zone so that the contractor knows there's a safe place to do that.
Okay.
Moving right along, the proposed conditions for the fire station. I'll start on the Bedford Street side. We have this about 115 foot wide access drive. The reason why it's so large is fire apparatus need a very large maneuvering sort of range. And so we provided that in the front with about, I'll say almost 100 feet, we'll call it 90 feet of offset from the edge of the existing roadway, Bedford Street. So we gave them enough width and length away from the road to be able to maneuver in and out and around the site because fire apparatus are very large and require a lot of space to maneuver around. So we've sort of cordoned off and marked off on the pavement, sort of do not enter. We only want fire apparatus entering and exiting this area as it is a safety concern if pedestrian traffic were routed through this area. So we will be utilizing for pedestrian or worker traffic the Ted Williams Camp entrance. We have a public parking lot right off the entrance to sort of cordon off the members of the public who are wishing to access the fire station for whatever various services they may need. And then a gated private lot in the back for the fire station will be for the workers to enter and exit and park for their day, for their work day. So we also have this area at the rear of the station on the opposite side of the building where we have further apparatus bays. Obviously we provided quite a bit of space at the back for apparatus to maneuver around, as well as these concrete pads that are structural in nature in order to hold up and allow fire apparatus to park there, maneuver around, to do the things they need to do. We're trying to enable the usability of the site for the fire station itself, for the fire department itself. Out back we have various miscellaneous MEP or site amenity related things. You get a dumpster enclosure here on the northwest corner of the project area. We have a propane tank pad over here to the west. Various mechanical pads and I believe they're generator and transformer pads up here to the northeast. This open area at the rear of the building towards the Ted Williams Camp entrance is for the septic system. We have not submitted the septic system to the Board of Health yet. We will do so very soon. We wanted to get in with this commission first.
Show me where the,
Septic system basically going right here. I can
Okay.
show it more clearly on the next plans. Some of these cleared areas you see, I'll get into. These are for stormwater management areas, as well as some of the pavement itself houses the stormwater management areas beneath them. Some miscellaneous items you'll see here, these cut limits. These are for pipes that we're installing to capture and convey Mass DOT drainage. And so that leads me to a nice segue.
oh, wait. Percent coverage. And are you talking about a 2 acre, you're pulling this out like a 2 acre lot, not using the whole camp as percent coverage, but percent coverage on the piece, you said a 2 acre piece?
Yeah, it's a 2 acre piece,
So
correct.
the percent coverage?
The percent coverage, I believe, is, I don't have the exact percent coverage for the piece itself. The percent coverage that we're held to from a zoning standpoint is the entire lot. And this is a pretty negligible amount when you consider the entire lot.
You mean the entire camp?
The entire lot for the campsite, correct.
That's why you're using the 28 precinct address, because you're doing this as,
This is one single lot that the town owns. Nothing is subdivided here or anything of that nature. So the percent coverage is relative to the lot that we're on.
okay. Okay.
All right.
I have one question, Sterling. That intermittent stream, is that north of this, the building site?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So the intermittent stream is basically 100 feet away from is 100 feet away from all of the impervious area, other than these miscellaneous pads. That intermittent stream runs underneath. It is conveyed underneath the roadway, across the road, and continues further south on the other side of Route 18.
Okay.
Yep. All set on this plan? Hearing none. So the grading, drainage, and utility plan, the basic scope of the stormwater conveyance here and the BMPs that we're providing for stormwater is an underground infiltration system underneath this rear higher western parking lot. This captures most of the impervious for this area, infiltrates all of it in the 100-year storm, and has an emergency overflow that connects itself to the infiltration basin to the north. The rear impervious area here conveys itself north to this infiltration basin that's been provided. And then the roof itself and the front parking and all of the Mass DOT right-of-way, basically to about the police station, the end of the police station over here, currently conveys northward via overland flow. And so we're capturing and infiltrating and treating that stormwater in order to offset the amount of impervious that we're proposing on this site. The basic nature of the stormwater is when you convert forest that is all in sandy soils, Class A soils, basically nothing runs off this site. It's only 2 CFS for a 2 acre lot, or 2 acre project size that runs off this lot in the 100-year storm. That is almost no stormwater leaving the property. So what we've done is, because we're introducing so much impervious area, in order to offset the sheer amount of stormwater that runs off of an impervious area that size, we're accepting even further impervious area from the Mass DOT right-of-way and treating and infiltrating that as well in order to make these stormwater numbers come out per the stormwater handbook. So we're accepting more than we have to in order to be able to meet the rules and regulations within the stormwater handbook.
And is all that front stuff going down here too?
Correct, yeah, so there's one more underground infiltration system that's pretty large, and it's underneath the pedestrian or the public parking lot out front. That accepts Mass DOT drainage, that accepts this impervious out front, and that accepts the roof runoff from the station itself.
It infiltrates right there?
And it infiltrates right there, correct.
Okay.
It's
So
all,
it doesn't go out to this back?
so in the 100-year storm, there's a little bit of conveyance that comes out of it.
Okay.
It's on the tune of like 1.5 CFS that comes out of it in the 100-year storm. In lesser storms, nothing comes out of it.
Okay. And this is all part of your stormwater management? Right?
This is all part of the stormwater management.
Okay.
And so for that area, what we've actually done is the overflow. We've actually created a depression here with an underground concrete pipe that conveys northward to the existing swale where all of the drainage for this site and the Mass DOT right-of-way used to go. So if you can picture that amount of area, everything from the Mass DOT right-of-way to this entire project area, which is existing forest, would convey northward to this intermittent stream and continue down the stream. So you were getting a lot of untreated sediments, untreated sort of stormwater that were making its way into this country drainage, this grass swale, and going right into the intermittent stream. So this project does represent a meaningful benefit to stormwater quality, which in Lakeville, knowing that this town is very much predicated on its drinking water supply areas, this is a meaningful improvement to stormwater quality and the quality of the drinking water that is utilized here in Lakeville. So that's really the long and skinny of the stormwater system. We have this concrete pipe that's basically replacing the grass swale just because we need to grade down and fill in that grass swale in order to allow the apparatus to access Bedford Street. So we've replaced it with that concrete pipe. We've controlled all the stormwater running to it that used to run to that area.
Is it treated it too?
Treating it, yep,
Okay.
absolutely. So the treatment in terms...
I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, ready? I love the way engineers always worry about that 100-year storm.
Yep.
The real concern, as you know, is not the 100-year storm. It's
Yeah.
3 10-year storms in 8 days.
Yeah.
Do you try to figure out what would happen in that case?
Yeah, so these stormwater systems, they drain out the drawdown period that's required in Massachusetts.
Small enough.
Yeah, the drawdown for these basins, specifically this one down here, I ran falling head tests, which are permeability tests in all of these. They're way faster than the assumed rates that we designed around. So these things suck up water even faster than I designed around, because I wanted to use the most conservative methods possible. But the infiltration rate here for this system was like 17 inches an hour. I design around 8.27, which is the allowed assumed rate in the stormwater handbook. So all of these areas, they just drink up water like nobody's business. It's all sand. It's all nice stuff. I did all the stormwater calculations myself. I did all the test pits myself.
Are these mostly Bridgewater soils?
I think it's Canton. Yeah, it's the same thing that occurs right out here. Yeah. So, it's amazing soils. These things draw down in less than 24 hours. So successive storms, like you mentioned, they would very likely be easily handled with a stormwater scope of this size. And then I'll just discuss the septic really quick. They're advanced enviroseptic piping. We just have your standard septic tank to D-box. It's gravity fed. The advanced enviroseptic piping itself provides a lesser separation to groundwater, which is allowable because the advanced enviroseptic piping itself represents a much greater treatment than you would get for a conventional system. This was not a requirement for the septic system itself, as we are outside of the potable water area setbacks. But I wanted to do this because it represents a much more conservative design when compared to a conventional system. So that is a plan that is not in with the Board of Health yet. It will be soon. But like I mentioned, we just wanted to be in front of this commission first. And so all this, all that you see here just represents further septic details. And all we have left is details. I'm just gonna grab a quick drink of water.
Sure.
Apologize. So the rest of the plans are just construction details. So I will leave it up to the commission to ask me any questions they may have.
You wanna talk about your, conservation and management permit and your letter from Natural Heritage?
Correct, yeah, so the letter from Natural Heritage, basically was just an issuance of a no adverse effect, so no take. So we do exist in a box turtle habitat, eastern box turtle habitat. NHESB has been coordinated with all along the design process. They've received many iterations of this plan as the folks who've been handling this, the sub-consultant LEC who's been handling this has been coordinating with them. We just received the letter last week, and under the WPA, this is considered a no-take. Under MISA review, I believe NHESB is just reviewing the further documents that have been provided to them already. These documents here as sort of a buttoning up process. That's why they make the comment that they do about amendment number 2.
And okay, but it doesn't really call out what amendment number 2 is?
No, it doesn't. To be honest, I'm not fully clear on what amendment number 2 is. I believe it has something to do with the documents that have been provided to them.
Okay, is it Brian Madden?
Brian Madden, correct.
Okay.
Yep. And it may be just providing them with the most up-to-date NOI plans that you folks have been provided, but I can't speak upon it.
All right, because it does make very clear, no work or other activities until amendment number 2 is issued.
Correct.
And you have to do MISA and a SWIP.
Yeah, SWIPs are standard for a project of this size. SWIP will be done prior to construction and issued prior to construction.
And MISA.
Correct. Yeah, the performance standards for MISA we will be held to, and we will meet prior to any work being conducted.
I'm just thinking ahead for what is the conditions.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the board now. And anybody else have any?
Can you explain to me how you're gonna contain all that concrete after cleaning and stuff?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
The concrete washouts, when you guys, can you explain a little bit more detail how you guys are gonna contain all that?
Well, so typically what they'll do is they'll have a geotextile fabric that'll filter out the fines that are present in concrete. And so they'll have a washout area that will filter that out through various stages with geotextile fabric. And that will allow sort of a settling sort of period for those fines to be filtered out of the water. What you wouldn't want is indiscriminate concrete washout to occur on site, and there's a lot of fines present in the manufacturing of concrete on site, and so we would not want those types of materials making their way into natural resources.
And that's gonna be in one location?
Correct, as far away from the buffer zones as we can get it within the project area.
Okay.
You wanna show it one more time on the plan, please?
Yes, absolutely.
I was just curious, after you guys start putting like park lots, and then you guys have to put the, like, pour for the concrete, for the transformer and stuff, if you guys are gonna be moving it around.
Yeah, for the small little pads and stuff, that may be self-contained itself. There may not be the need for a washout area like that. It's more for the larger volumes of concrete for the aprons and stuff that they would need something like that.
Okay, so I would think that we're probably gonna have to continue. I think we're gonna have to do like, a peer review on stormwater.
Understood?
So we will have to reach out and figure out how that's gonna happen. So I would look, how long would you think we need a continuance for?
Yeah, if I could make one quick appeal to the commission. The folks of Lakeville back in December voted to have a vote on this project and then voted to fund this project in January. Hopefully I'm not misspeaking there, but I believe it was back in January. This project has been one of the most thoroughly reviewed that I've ever done personally. We've been in front of NHESP, we've been in front of LEC, we've been coordinating with a sub-consultant for the NHESP stuff, all the way through the design. We still have to be in front of MassDOT. We're in front of this commission now. We have to be in front of Planning Board, and we've already been in front of and received comments from Mass DEP. I would just humbly ask the commission if they would consider waiving a peer review for this project under the amount of eyeballs that have already seen these plans. The amount of review that these plans have already been through is pretty heavy in terms of the regulatory bodies and third-party reviewers that have already seen this. And so I would just ask the commission to consider that, and I'm happy to go with whatever their decision is. And I would just further add that the current climate in the construction industry is such that the tariffs are raising prices every day. Further delays in the course of this project may have budgetary implications. We would not want to see the fire station have to get what I would call valued engineered down as a result of the tariffs that have been placed on construction materials. It's a difficult climate out there for development currently, and I would not want to see the folks of Lakeville, the taxpayers of Lakeville, suffer as a result of further review that has already been for a project that's already been very well vetted.
Where do you stand with the planning board?
We have not
They haven't
submitted to the
gone
planning board
Okay,
yet.
where do you stand with Board of Health?
We have not submitted to Board of
So
Health.
we're not gonna cause a delay
Yet.
by asking for a peer review.
And I do have to say that, my mantra,
Yep.
me personally, is we have to treat everybody the same. And I can't think that we all live in Lakeville, we're all taxpayers. We don't want to see the price go up either. But we also have an obligation to treat everybody the same.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
I'm not saying that we even need a down to the last drop of water. My opinion is we need an overall look that nothing big stands out that's not right.
Understood.
If we're gonna write what we want them to do, we say, whoever the peer reviewer is, take a look at this. Is there anything outstanding we should be looking at? Not
Yep.
down to the last drop of water like we might have done on something that's and I guess my thing about the stormwater is the infiltration into the ground, and that I still not crazy about using the whole park as percent coverage. Your percent coverage on those 2 acres that have been pulled off. So this is just reassuring that the stormwater is going to work, because we're responsible for protecting the people of Lakeville too.
Yeah, if I could explain the percent coverage thing. If I were to use my model
Yep.
as the entire lot, right? It's a 120 acre lot, and this is 2 acres of impervious, let's say we're adding. If I were to take 2 acres and model just 2 acres and say I'm putting impervious on 2 acres, that's 100% increase in impervious, right? And so that's what my model reflects, is adding impervious in just this area and the stormwater that gets implicated in just this area. If I were to do my stormwater model on the 120 acre site and I'm only increasing by 2 acres, you essentially get rounding errors for your stormwater model. So to actually use 120 acres as my stormwater model would dilute the numbers so much that I would need to do almost nothing, because it would almost get lost in the wash.
So you use that in your equation of the two, okay.
Correct.
See,
So-
now a peer review would tell us that.
Okay, so the LOD is what I analyzed for stormwater. I didn't analyze anything further beyond that.
Okay.
What I show for percent coverage is just for zoning.
LOD, limit of disturbance,
Correct, yeah, sorry.
that's all right.
And I would just add that I understand the weight of the ask, and I got the answer I expected. So.
Anybody else?
Nope, I'm good.
So I would need a motion that somebody needs to make a motion.
Are we gonna go out 2 weeks or a month?
Oh, how long out do you want to go while we?
It
I
depends
would
on-
ask the commission what your peer review process is going to look like.
I'd say go out a month. What's
Go out a
our
month?
one after, does somebody have a calendar, John? What's our one after the 10th?
We have the 10th, so it'll be 2 weeks later, right? 24th?
Is that it?
Yeah, 24th, the 10th and 24th of June.
So Spencer, you don't have a date yet scheduled to go in front of, planning?
We don't. There was a lot of things with the architectural side of things that we wanted to finalize, as it may implicate zoning. What classically happens with fire stations, I've done, just about a dozen here in Massachusetts. Almost every single one of them exceeds some type of height limit. It's usually 35 feet. Kyle, the architect, has been working to lower the height of the tower, essentially, so that we don't have to go and ask for a zoning relief just for the height of the building. So the architectural plans have been hanging in the balance a little bit, and so that's what's held those other applications back. We hope to turn that around, within the week or two.
Well, and to Mr. LeBlanc's point, the peer review shouldn't delay.
Right,
Understood.
so,
Yep.
Can I ask one other question?
sure.
So I didn't, so all the work is in the buffer zone. There's no resource, disturbance, or you're not
No.
doing any replication?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even get within, like about 60 feet. You can see
Yeah,
that.
it's up on the front.
Yeah, I consider more this to be the buffer zone we're interested in. Obviously, buffer zone for Route 18 is being implicated, but is it really buffer zone if there's an entire highway
It's a
separating
little,
us?
yeah, it
So,
stands out.
The true buffer zone here to the north, we're not even within 60 feet of that.
Okay, thank you.
Can I make the motion?
Yep.
I motion to continue 28 Precinct Street, SC 192-940 to 6/24/25 at 6:30 here at the police station.
And give us time to go out for
For a peer review.
Yeah, to get some requests for a peer review. And we
Understood.
will be in touch with you as soon as we get that.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Understood. I would like just, if I could be notified when one is decided upon. There's some clerical errors that bother me in the stormwater report that I would just like to fix: punctuation, grammar, spelling mistakes,
Okay.
these
Sure.
sorts of things.
Okay.
I'd like to just
Yeah.
fix the stormwater report a little bit.
Well,
Okay.
we have your contact.
Yep. So that's
So I have a motion.
Here, a second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
folks.
Take care.
Before we go on to the next thing,
Yep,
Chair,
yep.
this thing that was in there, I had copied, that was in, Mother Earth magazine about the best drainage in the world comes from nature. And we see what happens when, we've been having it all over the country. Places are getting flooded that didn't even know what the meaning of the word flood meant. Because, an engineer says, oh, that'll handle it, that'll handle it, that'll handle it. I mentioned the difference between the 100-year storm, and I'm sure you know this, is the 100-year storms, you don't worry about those. It's rains on Monday, rains on Thursday, rains next Tuesday. That's when you start worrying, when you get the sequence of them. And they don't really they don't engineer for that. They say the worst possible case is the 100-year. No, it's not. It's when we get the so-called the rainy season. And then when we don't get the rainy season, you see what's happening in Massachusetts. We're still technically in a drought.
Yeah,
So I threw that in there because it's a great story.
thank you.
Okay, so we're up to 160 Bedford Street. Did everyone see the peer review that came back?
Yep.
So, there's more stuff. So Mark called the peer reviewer today to see how long it's gonna take for, them to answer. It's already been sent to Prime Engineering, correct? They're
Yeah.
requesting a
Yeah.
continuance, so,
Yeah,
we're gonna grant them a continuance, but in the meantime, there has been, two or three examples of fill on the property, and that has to be addressed, so now you have to go back to the peer reviewer to do that research that's been called out.
and that's in, Brad Holmes' the memo, just a short site review summary.
It's
Um,
ECR, there's a ECR memo, is that what it is?
Yeah, ECR.
Memo right there somewhere. There it is. I got so many things for 160 Bedford Street.
And I think from Brad's expertise and when he was on site, last week, 5/17, yeah, 5/16, we walked the perimeter of the site, we checked,
Did he move flags?
no, he didn't move any flags. He was fine with the, buffer, the flags that were on Ms. Catino's, property.
Well, number 3 says some of the wetland flagging in B series wetland are down gradient of the BVW limit, meaning the flags are too low. Oh, you gave yours away.
I don't think he actually moved them. I think he noted them.
Oh, no, look at this one.
Number 3.
One flagging in the series wetland and down gradient, BVW, meaning flags are too low.
So basically, we're continuing this, so they're not here, I don't wanna talk about it too much. The bottom line is, this needs to be, all the recommendations need to be followed. It doesn't appear at this point like we need to ask them for more money. You
No.
think there's still enough money in the original amount that they put in for, we're gonna go back and ask Brad Holmes to do the work that he's suggesting.
And we did walk the perimeter of the site. We, not just focusing on the flagging for the buffer zone. So we went up onto Winds Lane. I know there's been discussion of, there's been disturbance there.
Yeah,
I'll
but
stop.
they're not
Okay.
here, so we're
Sorry.
really gonna
Oh,
only
I'm sorry.
discuss, right? We're
Right.
only gonna discuss the
Yeah.
next step, which is to have him investigate and go back about these places of fill. And the abutters are here, and I think that they know by now, the abutters need to be notified if they're gonna be on their property, so. I would like a motion to continue 160 Bedford Street until such time as, Brad Holmes can investigate these 3 areas that he's talking about.
Can you leave it indefinite like that? And not to a date specific?
I am gonna go to a date
Oh,
specific.
okay.
I just wanted to say what it was about. All right, so continue to,
6/24 or?
let's go
beyond?
to 6/10. And if they need to continue it again, we'll continue it again. I don't wanna put it out too far. We want answers. Everybody's been waiting for a long time.
Okay.
It has been brought up that it's probably gonna be going on a year and a couple of months that, we've been hanging on to this, so. A motion to continue 6/10/25 at the Lakeville Police Station at 6:30.
So moved.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I just ask you a question?
You gotta come up and identify yourself.
Up to the mic.
Tim Wynn, One Wind Way, Lakeville. I just have a question. On his deed, there was an order of conditions.
Okay?
And from
That's
what
what
I
hap-
can tell, I might have to show this to you. It looks like it was for an order of resource area delineation that was never done.
There was one done for 162, which part of the wetland went
Well,
over
this
onto
one
the other
says
one.
160, 162.
Wasn't there one done
160.
for the front parking area? Didn't we do something there?
For the front parking area a
Yeah,
long
didn't
time
they
ago.
delineate it?
Well, the point is, he's gonna look into all of this stuff.
Should I give this to you? It says D, and it has an order of condition on it.
But I think we have all his orders. I'll take it.
Do you have the order of condition? that was
We have a
put on
whole
the property?
file that we're gonna send on to Brad, because
Okay.
we're not gonna do it, our consultant's gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, it says,
I'll take it,
if I'm reading it right.
just in case it's not in. Lori's out this week, but I will leave it to make sure
Is
it's
that
in
what
the
that
file.
means?
Yep, that's what that means, and it should be in the file, because it looks like it went to that private
The D-
engineering
yeah,
was
the
involved
D-
back then too.
Yeah, the DEP had,
2018. Actually, I think we sent him some of this stuff already.
Yeah, he has the ANRAD and ANRAD.
But that came from what, the DEP?
Everyone that gets an order of conditions has to file it and implement in the registry, so anytime you have an order of conditions, it's on your deed.
Okay.
Unless like if you sell your property or you come back and ask for a certificate of compliance on something that you need to do, but same thing with the ANRAD, that has to be recorded also.
And then one of the other things I did see,
Or what we said.
I can send to you, Nancy, was, I don't know where the plan came from, but the errors that I was talking about, that I'm sure they're in this, but I can't tell by what you have here, C6 to C10, I don't know what that
Right.
means.
But this is the job of our consultant to,
Well, I just wanted to make sure there was an order of
Right.
condition to do wetland delineation.
but I'm pretty sure they already have this, but just in case, will you pass this down to Mark, please, so that he can get it to,
That's it, I just wanted to show
yeah,
you
no,
that
that's
there's
good.
one on it.
Thank you. Like I say, we wanna make sure he has all the information, so you don't
Yeah.
have to reinvent the wheel, so
Yeah,
that's
so we don't find
good.
out about it in a month or two from now.
Well, we're just putting it up to the next meeting, so he was pretty good at coming up with this first set.
Pretty quick.
So that's it.
Did I get a motion?
Yes,
And did I get a second?
second, yes.
I did, did we all vote?
No,
Yep.
Oh, all right,
Okay.
good, thanks.
So it's 2 weeks?
2 weeks. Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Okay, 104 Eldridge Drive. I don't have a problem with this one. I called and talked to Darren, but I don't exactly understand why he's not here. There's nobody here to represent this, but
Where's Cheltenham Drive?
It's
yeah,
just,
you know where it is.
it's right off
It's
79.
Bob's Park, Lakeville Corporate Park. Isn't it?
No, that's Lakeville Business Drive, or Business.
next to recycling.
yeah, 79.
Yeah.
If you're right, the RV place is on your left, and it's
Okay,
Down.
yeah. I get you. It's off of 79.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, is it the backside of the
Yeah.
industrial park?
Yeah, I had it in my
Okay.
mind as being over on, yeah.
So I made a site visit on Saturday 2 weeks ago. And I was looking at, there's a leaching field in the front. It's outside of the 100-foot buffer. But then I guess there were some issues with wetland disturbance came up on the back side of the property where there's a playground and some other stuff that DEP showed had been disturbed, but when you looked at the actual site plans, that area was not delineated as wetlands. Anyhow, sorry, that was
Yeah.
the best summary.
The old
but-
ANRAD, like how many years ago, shows that this was approved as a delineation, so I don't know why the wetland showed areas of disturbance, because it was not into the wetland area, so whatever happened 20 years ago,
History.
yeah. It was approved. So if it was a mistake, I don't know, but you said he reflagged it all, and that's how it looks. And isn't it the as-built, you can see the as-built is, from the Board of Health. That's what we have for, so we have an as-built and we have a request for a certificate of compliance.
Is this an empty lot
We're
where they're talking about building?
not
it's
talking
already
about
built.
building anything. It's already built.
Yeah,
Been
Bill.
built. There's two buildings.
Oh, they're asking for a certificate. of
Yeah,
compliance. I'm like, wait a minute, it says to construct an office building.
What was the original date of the order of conditions?
2001.
Yeah.
well, that's
So, no, that's, oh, wait.
that's the approval from the Board of Health is 2001.
I know the building.
Sorry.
I mean, the number is 310, so that's, you know, we're over 900 now.
Okay. So is everything done, Mark?
Yeah, I would say,
So I just assume get this off our plate.
Yep.
And I had talked to Darren on the phone, maybe he just assumed he was all set, that's why he didn't come. So I would need someone to make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 104 Charles Eldridge Drive, SE 192-310.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, done. Yay. All right, 137 Staple Shore Road. Mark,
I went out, the property owner is looking for, 2 certificates of compliance. The work, I don't have the exact date, back in 2006, let's see. Was for the demolition of a house and then to build the house, replace it with a cottage, and also for a geothermal well. I'm just trying to find, it was a long time ago. House started in December 2005. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing the NOI, the date, but, so it's been complete for a long time. I talked to the owner, Roger Eldridge. He said at the time they had siltation up around the lake. He said they finished the house, and he said he didn't realize there was something else that he needed to do, i.e., get the certificate of compliance. And he showed me where this geothermal well is, and it's underneath the grass. He's kind of trying to eyeball it, but it's a 503 foot well.
508.
508 whale. There was the Texas twang. Comes out every now and whale. But it's been functioning since he installed it. One minor problem with some sensor in the house, but I'd recommend that the commission approves the request for the COCs.
The temperature at the bottom of that well, do you know what it is?
56?
55, 56,
55.
absolutely. Cool your house down nice.
He said they didn't hit any groundwater at all.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, they're on the lake, but I don't know what the fluid is in the coils. It's
Yeah.
glycol something or.
Yeah.
But he said his heating bill is $50 to $100. His AC, his electric bill is a lot less than mine.
Yeah.
all right, so we need to do this in 2 parts. So first off, I would look for, anybody have any questions?
Nope.
I'm gonna look for a, certificate of compliance for SE 192-504, which was for the wells on 137 Staple Shore Road.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Secondly, I would look for a certificate of compliance for SE 192-438, which was the house.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty, good. Okay, so we have a letter here somewhere that Town of Lakeville zoning bylaw
Advisory committee.
review advisory committee. All right, this is asked for by the selectmen and it looks like it will have a charge. So, which is better than just being called to order by the planning board, which it was last time with no direct charge. So this is, from the selectmen, the town of Lakeville shall establish a zoning bylaw review advisory committee to review our existing zoning bylaw in an effort to update and clarify it, as well as to consider additional zoning changes that may become evident within the review process. The committee shall consist of 7 members to be appointed by the select board. Members shall include the director of inspectional services, select board member or their designee, 1 planning board member, 1 appeals board member, 1 board of health member, 1 conservation commission member, and 1 at-large member. Appointments shall be for 1 year and expire on July 31st each year. The committee shall report any recommendations it may to the planning board for consideration in anticipation of town meeting. So, the email that came with this to me was asking for the chairman. So, I'm gonna tell you right now, do I wanna do this? No, I don't. Do I think I'm the best person to do it? Yes, I do. So I discussed it with Mark and if it's all right with the board.
I make a motion to
Wait a
nominate.
minute, let me finish. Let me finish.
You don't have to convince us.
No, well, I don't wanna, but I'm going to, on the condition that Mark's gonna go with me and come up to speed.
That's a great idea.
Okay,
I make the
that was Mark's
motion.
idea.
I second.
Do we need a motion?
Yes.
All right, I make the motion to appoint Nancy to represent the
Conservation
thanks,
Commission.
Conservation
Where are
Commission
we?
on the zoning review board with Mark.
Seabrack.
I'm gonna caddy.
Yeah,
With a caddy.
It's like if we were playing golf, like,
Yeah.
right, okay.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right,
tell you, I'm gonna try
thank
and
you, I
suck
guess.
it.
I don't really mean thank you, I mean, but I'll do it. But Mark will learn quickly so that he will be designate next time around. Okay.
Don't volunteer.
All right, so I have one, oh, no, I don't, not yet, meeting minutes.
Meeting minutes. Make a motion that we approve the minutes of Lakeville Conservation Commission meeting of March 11th, 2025 as presented to us.
Okay,
Second.
and just because, and also because Matt doesn't know this yet, but he was the English teacher, he reviews all the minutes and makes sure there's no mistakes, so.
Oh, very good.
So, motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so I have one last thing. Under new business, or old business, or however we want to look at it. Joe, Tracy asked me today
Uh-oh.
to ask you about your reappointment in July. And I told her, no, I'm not asking him that, number 1. And number 2 is, I said, I will beg and grovel that you just get appointed, and when you're ready to, you want to leave, you just resign.
I'll go for it.
Yay!
You the man.
Which makes year
We just made Nancy's
53 or something like that.
Well, look how close we came, although he hasn't been appointed yet, but we came close tonight to no quorum.
Oh, you haven't been appointed yet?
No, yeah, it hasn't gone to the select,
Oh,
it's on the next
it's the
selectmen's
next
meeting, it
selectmen,
didn't
yeah.
it didn't get there in time. So,
Okay, motion to adjourn.
I second. Oh, wait, Mark?
oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
they're not really updates, but, so, I'll find the date for this MACC training, send it to everybody. So for peer review for 28 Precinct Street, we'll need 3, right? We're gonna have to find.
yeah, we'll discuss it, yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah, we'll
right,
send it out,
all right,
when Lori comes back.
okay. Just thinking Merrill, GAF,
Brandon,
Brandon. All right,
Okay.
it's kind of, that was hanging there. I
Okay.
wanted to close the circuit.
Yeah.
okay,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.